Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Half a Nice Day podcast. This is Janine.
And this is Joshua. And if you cannot tell by listening to us, I'm pretty sure you must be knowing that we are recording this over Zoom today.
If you follow us on Instagram, you'll know because we posted a picture of...
Yeah, Janine just posted a story.
And this is the second time we're doing this because we had to stop midway of our first recording because we just realized we got our technicalities all wrong.
Yeah, we were not recording it. We were recording the Zoom call, hoping that we could take that audio from there, but I realized that I wasn't recording on Audacity, so it's like a Zoom interview, I feel, you know? and I'm not wearing pants again, so...
So you're like professional on top, but casual on the bottom.
Exactly, like party at the top and then...
Other way.
Business in the top and party at the bottom.
Yeah, there you go. So maybe I just owe everyone an explanation as to why we are recording through Zoom, because I got exposed to a COVID positive person. I was gonna say Joshua did, but then I don't lie, and that's the truth. So I got exposed to a COVID positive person. I got my test a week ago. No, a couple of days back, 5 days back, saying that my test turned out negative. But then 2 days after, I got exposed to a COVID positive person. I don't know why I'm laughing about it. It's not funny at all. It's just because the way things unfolded was quite a funny situation.
No, it is actually quite funny. And the timing couldn't have been any more perfect.
I know. It sucks, but things happen for a reason, guys. So we all had to get tested in my company because we had our year-end party / Christmas holiday party. So everyone had to get tested just to make sure.
Sorry to cut you, but you're the only company I know who's actually having a function. Like our company, we had something on Zoom.
Yeah.
Or Microsoft Teams. I'm surprised your company had like a big function in a hall.
Because we're extra. We do everything in an extra way.
That is very true, actually.
This is probably I was going to say the least extra party even, but it's actually still very extra because they rented out the whole opera.
The Dubai Opera?
The Dubai Opera, yes.
Dude?
Yeah, bougie, I know.
Wait. I knew this, but was it like the actual Dubai Opera Hall?
It is the Dubai Opera, yeah.
But they can remove the chairs and stuff? And
no, it was more of like, it's still there from the pictures that I saw. So you still have the chairs.
Yeah, the seating arrangement.
The seating arrangement that is like...
levels, yeah.
There you go, it's staggered. And then you have the stage.
Dubai Opera is low to high, yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's so cool, though.
Yeah, I saw that they hired entertainment. Like, they had a whole band play with, like, violinists and...
Like Green Day?
Yeah, Dubai Opera. Yeah, those two fit so well.
You know, the Green Day had a Broadway musical, though, right?
I don't know that because I'm not a fan of Green Day. So.
Oh, man. That's... I'll make you listen to it when you get a chance. Or they had, like... What is that? Ensemble? Ensemble.
No, ensemble.
Yeah? Is
Yeah.
it French?
Yeah, well, it is French, but then there's an
Pardon
English
my
version.
French then, but yeah, it was amazing. Like they had female singers as well.
Oh, cool.
Beautiful.
Of course, anything that
Okay,
comes
but
from Green Day's butt is amazing for you.
Exactly. I don't know if our listeners know, but I actually have a Green Day tattoo as well. So
yeah, that's how much he's invested with this band.
Best album of ever, guys. Best album ever, Green Day's American Idiot. What was the theme of your annual party then?
So it's Phantom of the Opera.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very over the top. Anyway, whenever we have these fancy parties, I always borrow clothes from this good friend of mine who also works with me. She's a colleague. Because I'm not going to pay for an outfit that I'm just going to wear on one night. So,
of course.
I borrowed some clothes from her. And the funny,
Wait, borrowed some clothes? How many outfits do you need for a party?
So she gave me, I have 3 dresses with me right now. Well, actually, I left it in my car.
Holy Moses.
Yeah, she has a very intricate and wide assortment of clothes in her wardrobe.
Do you think she'll lend me some dresses as well?
I don't know if you're going to fit into them, to be honest.
I'm pretty sure I can fit. I've lost some weight, I would say.
You've lost a lot of weight, actually. Guys, Joshua lost, 8 kgs now?
I think it must have been. I know last time I checked it was 9, but for sure it must have been a little bit more.
Look at this guy, guys. Look
Guys,
at
I'm on
this guy.
keto.
Stop lying. You're not on keto.
Yeah, I'm not on keto. I still have my carbs.
Yeah, he's just trying to eat healthy and getting a little bit more active because we're trying to get to our fittest self as we can by February. Actually, end of February.
So February 30.
Yeah, February 30. That's an inside joke. Care to explain to them?
Yeah, so but the first week we were talking.
I think it was the first week.
Yeah, Janine and I were trying to suggest to meet up.
When he was still trying to impress me.
I wasn't trying at all.
Ooh.
I was just, to be honest, I was doing the bare minimum, okay?
Wow.
I was like, whatever. And I asked Janine, are you free on Feb 30? And she was like playing along with it. And I'm like, I hope she knows that there's no 30th day in February. Then I'm like, by the way, do you know that Feb only has 28 days, 29 every 4 years? And she's like, huh.
Hey, I didn't say huh. And like a couple of minutes after I realized, I was like, oh.
And
that
Janine
was a joke.
struck me as someone who like, cause she's like, oh, I'm reading this book. Oh, I'm just watching this TED talk. Oh, I'm like, oh, so Janine must be enlightened, but clearly she doesn't know which calendar we follow. It's not the Mayan calendar, okay?
I'm sorry. Okay, I was probably preoccupied at that time. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Just to
Like,
explain
I know
myself.
when you talk to me, you don't talk to you don't do anything else, okay? So,
What? Why are you so
preoccupied.
all
I
up
was
in
cooking
yourself?
and doing laundry and okay.
Yeah, that's what I do when I talk to you or talk to anyone else for that matter.
Says the girl who calls everyone instead of sending it through an SMS or a WhatsApp message.
Yeah, because then if I'm calling someone, at least I can do something. So I can load up the laundry or I can cook or I can do something with my hands instead of like writing down or typing down a whole long text.
I don't know. I'm a texter, so.
Now you're okay with it, but in the beginning, you were probably having anxiety when I was calling you.
Yeah, I still remember the first time you even called me, and I remember how my heart raced, and I'm like, why is she calling me?
I don't think you answered right away.
No, because I looked at the phone like, should I answer it or just let it go to voicemail?
Voicemail.
voicemail.
As if we have voicemail here.
No,
in Dubai.
voicemail's at Etisalat lady. The person you are calling is currently unavailable. That's my
That is so
voicemail.
true. I was just like, why is he not picking up? Oh, I remembered. Actually, I remembered that you are, I think there's a term for it, an anxious caller or something.
A normal person.
No, you're not. That's not normal. I think
is
maybe
normal.
for millennials and Gen Z it is, but it shouldn't be normal. Like phone calls are okay. We're just so used to the fact that we need more time to let whatever the other person said process into our brains and then
That's true.
start formulating what our reply should be instead of just replying right away. And that's what I want when I'm on a phone call. Like if I'm calling you, it's because I need the reply right then and there.
But a statistic that I actually heard recently is that if I send you a message, you would have read it within 6 seconds of receiving it.
6 seconds?
Yeah.
Is that
like
how
you would see the
much-
pop-up.
Oh, okay,
on-
from
that's
the
how much
notification.
people check their phone at least, 500 times in a day. So,
Yeah, I don't think 500, but a lot of times in a day for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, because an average person uses their phone around 6 hours, 6 to 7 hours per day.
Yeah, perhaps, yeah.
That's
so I
a
know when you
lot.
don't reply to me in 2 minutes, I know you've seen my message and decided not to reply.
By the way, I don't have those, those double, when it turns blue, it means that someone read your message.
Yeah.
I don't have that, do you?
No, I don't have read receipts and last seen onlines.
Yeah, I don't like that.
It's the worst thing that anyone, even on my Microsoft Teams, I removed it.
Oh, I don't know
In
that you can
Office.
remove that.
Yeah, I
Oh,
removed
you need to
it.
teach me.
I will do
Because
that.
then when you send something and then the other person sees it, like you see an eye, right?
Yeah, you see an eye, and I removed the pop-ups as well.
Hmm.
And I did that after we did that episode about distractions at work, and I'm like, yeah, I get distracted a lot by those pop-ups. So I'm like, okay, let me remove this. Let me remove the scene so I can read the message and not reply, and reply at my own time.
That's actually good because sometimes you get distracted by those, especially when you're like doing a report or you're really into something.
Or when I'm like looking at YouTube or something, I really hate when those pop-ups come.
You're like, why are you annoying me? I'm actually in the middle of something right now, watching a YouTube
I'm watching
video.
Tiger Belly, guys, please. I know it's a company time, but who cares? Okay, back to your COVID story. We strayed so far.
But I just wanted to add to that red receipt thing, that the only downside to it is that if you remove it and you don't want people to see that you've read their messages, that you also don't see if they've read your messages.
No, I don't care about that.
Which actually I think
is
a good thing, because I don't want to know if the other person read my message and didn't reply, and then you start formulating thoughts as, oh, he or she read my message and he never replied. Why? And you start formulating these like negative thoughts, especially if you're an anxious person. I think that's not a good thing. So I removed it because, first of all, I don't want people to know that I've read their message and them to expect for me to reply right away, because it might have been I was, I don't know, in a meeting or with some other person and I accidentally clicked on the notification that popped up when you messaged, and then I read it, and then I'm gonna reply, but I'm gonna reply later when I get home, you know?
Yeah. But you know who are the worst people though?
Who?
Who put read receipts on an email.
Oh, yeah. But that you receive a pop-up that says, this person
requested for a read receipt. I'm like, get your life together. Don't you have other things to do?
I always exit that command prompt. I don't want to give that person the satisfaction to know that I read his or her email, okay? So, no. X.
Stupidest thing ever, man. Seriously, guys, get your life together.
When do you need it?
Maybe like a proof of payment or something.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe an important document.
Maybe for people in accounts, yeah.
I realized something else though. You know who's worse than that? Which people are worse?
Who?
People who will call you after they send an email to check if you got the email.
Oh, yeah.
And my lord.
Yeah. You talk to a lot of other people, like external people, third parties, customers, and stuff like that. So I'm sure you get a lot of those.
You know what? I get at least 2 or 3 of those calls in a day. I just wanted to check if you got my email, and I tell them, if you call me again, I'm not kidding, if you call me to check if I got an email, then that defeats the whole purpose of sending an email, and choose your medium of communication, because you're wasting my time and your time.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I'm a very nice guy, guys, don't get me wrong, but when it comes to work stuff and like things which require double work, like calling me, sending me a WhatsApp, and then sending me an email, I'm like, dude, get your life together, because I'm not gonna answer any of these if you don't choose which communication you want me to reply on, because you're giving me like mixed signals right now. What do you want me to do? Like, Janine's also wasting my time now recording this podcast at 7 p.m. when we have to release it tomorrow.
Should I go back to my story now?
Okay, so your COVID story. Yeah.
Okay, so I got my test. I was negative. That just means that I can attend the party. I borrowed some clothes from her and asked her, like, hey, did you receive your COVID test result? And she said, no, not yet. And while we were talking, I was trying to zip up a dress or something, and she looks at me and she puts her hand on her mouth and she's like, babe. And I was like, what? She said, I'm positive. I'm like, that's not funny. And then she said, no, I really am. And I started then putting on my mask, and I was like, I think I need to leave now. She's like, get out.
That's my
get
cue,
out.
Guys.
It was a funny but not funny situation. And I was like, wait, but can I wash my hands first before I leave? And she says, yes, but not here in my room. Go downstairs and wash your hands. I left her house, washed my hands, and then I got out and I was like, oh man, I just realized I can't go to the party now because I've just been exposed to a positive person and I wouldn't know if I'm negative or positive. And I started messaging my nurse friends and they said, look, you know, as long as you were cautious about it and you weren't like next to each other, which we were very cautious about it. We didn't kiss, we didn't hug. The only time that we were a little bit close to each other was when she helped me zip my dress from behind. And I'm feeling fine. I don't feel any symptoms, but I just really wanted to be responsible about it. So I skipped the party, which was a little bit sad because it would be my last party in my company because I resigned a couple of months back and I have 3 more days in this company before I say goodbye. And I was hoping it would be, you know, the last hurrah before I left, but things happen for a reason. That's fine. It's just a party.
That's true. Yeah.
And now here we are. It's been 5 days since that encounter and I just went through my COVID test again this afternoon. So I went through one of those drive-through screenings in City Walk and it was very smooth. I was very impressed with how organized they are. It's just that you have to wait for a while in your car, which I'm not a big fan of because of my claustrophobia.
Are you giving a review for COVID tests? It's not a Zomato. Okay?
I'm like, I'm giving them 4 stars. 1 star I'm gonna remove from the 5-star rating because it took a while.
1 star because I got COVID. 5 star I didn't get COVID. Okay.
Yeah, but really, I'm very, very impressed. Like, there was also this thing when you drive up to it, there were signs of tune in to 104.6 FM to listen to the instructions of what you need to do. And when I tuned into that, there was a guy with a very soothing, calm voice telling you
Like
to...
Nickelback or something.
No.
Like, was Nickelback playing?
No.
No, that would have been so dope. Like, if
Why?
it was like,
Why do you think Nickelback's voice is soothing and calming?
he has such a soothing voice.
I
What's
don't
his name?
think so. You know-
Kruger something?
You know who has a soothing, calm voice?
Yeah.
What's his name? Oh my gosh.
Joshua?
No, the guy who played... That guy who played Jesus.
George Clooney.
No, the Black Jesus.
Black Jesus?
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman. There you
that
go.
would have been so dope.
Imagine if it was Morgan
Please
Freeman's
proceed
voice.
to the leftmost lane. That's my impression of him.
No,
Really good
the
at
instructions just said that keep your Emirates ID ready
know what I was
and
thinking?
wait for your turn. What?
Like they like listen to 104.6 to get your instructions, and when you change it to that station, it's Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas Is You" because that song is playing everywhere right now.
That is so
Like,
true.
Give me a break, guys. Okay.
You know, if we were in the Philippines, Jose Marie Chan's voice would be playing everywhere, in every grocery store, every department store, SM, Robinsons, name it, Ayala malls. All you
name
can
it, guys.
hear
You're getting
is
your
Jose
COVID
Marie
test
Chan.
that's stuck on the device and put up your nose, so you're hearing it 24/7.
That is so funny. Yeah, but Christmas is a few days away, and I'm really, really excited about it. Are you excited
About?
for Christmas?
Sorry, the cut, and then I just heard, "Are you excited for it?" I'm like, for the results of your COVID test. Christmas, yeah, dude. It's a family affair, so I really like that as well. But obviously, we have limitations now, restrictions on how many people you can bring home.
Bring home. Who are you bringing home?
You
Who are
know,
you bringing home, Joshua?
the elves. Have you been naughty or nice? For someone to have no friends. Okay, so Josh, that's what you're thinking. Josh, I know you don't know anyone in Dubai. Okay, you lived here for 29 years. 0 friends.
I am very excited for Christmas too. I know that you didn't ask, but I just wanted to express that because
I don't care if you're excited or not. Next.
Christmas is such a lovely holiday for me. Like, I prepare everything really early. From early November, I start buying gifts throughout Black Friday because that's the best time to actually buy gifts when it's on discount.
Yeah, when you have Black Friday and all those days.
Yeah. Now that I've moved into a bigger apartment, I still have my small Christmas tree, and I was contemplating on buying a bigger one. But then I just watched that whole documentary by Matt Diavela about the minimalists or the minimalist way of living. And
Yeah.
I just thought to myself, do I really need a Christmas tree? Maybe not. I think this small one will suffice. And then I'll just put the gifts around it and make that the star of the Christmas tree corner, you know?
Yeah. So that's what we decided to do this year, especially me. Like, all my Christmas gifts that I'll be giving away are things which I see in the house, which do still have some value, but I'm trying to declutter because of that said documentary as well.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was asking Janine if she knows anyone with size 9 or 10 shoes. Maybe any listener who would want a pair of Nikes, which are in like brand new condition, and I'll get it sanitized and everything, clothes, whatever you need, and we can get that done. You know, like trying to make the most out of something that I don't use anymore because I'm trying to get rid of some stuff.
Yeah.
Books, if anyone wants. I know Janine's doing something different. I don't know if I can say it, but she's gonna gift wrap some of her gifts in newspaper to make sure that
Yeah.
like that she uses the newspaper, which is already read to some good, reuse and reduce and recycle, all that stuff.
I don't want to claim it, but I want to start living a more sustainable life, a more minimalist life. And
Yeah.
I'm going to put in more effort into it because I've learned about the minimalist way of life or minimalism at the beginning of this year or end of last year, and I told myself, okay, 2020, I really want to be as minimalist as I can. And minimalism has a lot of definition for a lot of people. It doesn't mean like you have to sell everything that you have. It's more of just being conscious of how you spend your resources and how you're more mindful about the things that you bring in. And it's more of a need instead of a want. And I think in terms of my purchases for this year, I did a good job on that, because just looking back at as to how I was the past couple of years with my retail expenses, buying things that I don't really need or buying things just because they were on sale. And if I look at my closet, there's still stuff with tags on it. So those that I'm not really using in the past 6 months, I'm like, let me donate it. Let me send it to someone else or give it to someone who could use it better than I did.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure everyone who's listening, they have stuff in their closet which they haven't used in a while, or things which they use, like what you said, like a dress for one occasion or a suit for one occasion and never wore it again. So these are the clothes which we can, I think, give away to other people or maybe have a yard sale. But obviously, guys, make sure that you sanitize it before you give it away, or put it in the laundry once and then give it to the next person and like pass it forward.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of stuff in my room, guys, which I see that I bought in the spur of the moment, but now looking at it, I'm like, why is this here again? Or I don't even remember buying it, or this doesn't bring me joy anymore. Like I still have some clothes which have been outdated.
Yeah.
Or just find a way how to reuse it again and maybe like switch it up a notch, put a scarf around it. I don't know fashion that much. I just have one shirt.
I love that you put in a reference to Marie Kondo. You're like, it doesn't spark joy anymore.
It doesn't spark joy in my life, so I got rid of my mom.
Stop. I'm gonna tell you off on your mom. I'm gonna tell her about it.
My mom loves me. I love my mom.
I know you do. But that's so true, because when I moved to my apartment, again, referencing to that, I put out a lot of stuff that I was just so surprised at how much stuff and crap I had that I didn't use, and stuff that wasn't really giving me joy anymore, or probably never gave me joy, and I just bought it because of, I was on a buying spree. And looking back just made me realize, okay, I have to be a little bit more mindful of what I buy, what I take in. And I think that's a good way to start the year. And I know that we're going to have an episode on that, but maybe just to give you a teaser, we'll talk about what are the ways to start the year, because that's the best time to motivate yourself or to restart your life.
Yeah, that's true. Like to declutter, and you have that anxiety from choosing what you're gonna wear on a particular day because you have this limitless option of stuff in your wardrobe. So I think a good way is to declutter, and you'll stop having that analysis paralysis where you like get stuck with a decision or like, what book do I read? Like for me, I have at least 40 books here on my shelf. Some I've started reading, some I haven't even touched yet. But for me, I know the stupid thing is that I just like the look of it.
Yeah.
Like having a lot of books on my shelf. But then I always get into this state where I'm like, okay, what do I read now? Do I read the 5 a.m. Club now? Do I read the 21 Lessons for the 21st Century or what? Like, I'm just looking at them and just going on a whim. But I know what you mean. Like, just decluttering, and you'll save yourself so much time and so much trouble from making a decision.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I love this topic, and I think it deserves a respect of having a full episode. But I like the fact that we brought it up, because this is maybe a way that we can start educating and informing all our listeners that this is something that they should try to incorporate when they start the new year.
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing that everyone can learn, especially in this day and age when, because most of my spending this year actually was during lockdown because sales galore. And you work in retail, so you know the mindset of everyone. Like, okay, our cash flow is not normal. We're losing more money than we make, so let's go on a crazy sale. And Sun and Sands had a crazy sale. Sorry for calling you companies out, but these are the companies that I bought from.
Yeah.
Sun and Sands, H&M, Zara, everything. I'm like, wow, these sales. It's like once in a while, these kinds of sales.
Yeah. But that's what we do, right? That's what retailers do. Like, I work for a retailer, and we know how customers would react to certain things that we do, and that's the reason why we do them, because we know that we can lure you guys in. We're like, okay, this season people will be looking for gifts, for example, so we're gonna talk about a lot of gifting moments. We're gonna put out a lot of gifting options. So that's what we're paid for to do, and people fall
and we
for
buy
it.
into it, our retail therapy, like we're just like, oh, I've been stuck at home for 2 months now. Let me reward myself because I've done such a good job of being a law-abiding citizen.
Yeah, but I just want to touch base on that as well. There's nothing wrong with treating yourself from time to time, telling yourself, okay, I deserve this or I want to buy this for myself. Go ahead. You deserve to buy whatever you want to, just as long as you're buying it with your own money and not on a credit that you can't pay later on.
Amen, sister. Yeah.
And second, it's something that you would really make use of, like something you need and not something you just want for that moment and you'll get 2 to 3 uses out of. And then after that, you'll be like, meh, I don't want it anymore.
Yeah, I've fallen for those all the time. I bought 2 pairs of jeans which I've never worn during lockdown because I'm like, what, H&M for what, $30?
Yeah.
That's a steal. That'll never happen in this lifetime ever again. So I bought it and I'm like, it's just lying there gathering dust.
Exactly, guys. I think we need to be very, very mindful, especially of things that we buy with fast fashion retailers because
very true, yes.
Sweatshops and people who are not being paid their rightful salaries and their rightful wages in India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, all of these countries wherein these big retailers such as, I don't know, H&M, Forever 21, all of these.
Nike, they exploit all these smaller
Zara,
countries,
fast
take
fashion.
advantage, of these
exactly
exchange rates and pay low wages.
Yeah.
It's a reality of life though. Just be more mindful. Like, and even in this documentary, I just thought of it now. Sorry to cut you, Janine, but it's like you also get more mindful of your money. Like if you're a person who buys Starbucks every day, you know how much money you can save in a year if you just brew your own coffee or start cooking for yourself instead of eating out as much as possible. I know there are meal plans in Dubai as well where they provide you a meal for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But the moment you start cooking for yourself, which Janine has taught me as well, how much money you can save, how much you can actually monitor what comes into your body instead of not knowing what ingredients or even chemicals they put into these food that you eat.
Yeah.
So it's really good as well. It's just about being mindful of where your money goes and what joy or what you get out of it.
It's all about the balance. Like if you're someone who prioritizes time and you want to be a little bit more flexible with your time, then go with a meal provider or buy food that would help you save your time. But then if you're someone who enjoys cooking and you want to save some moolah and cash, then cook. And there's a lot of these YouTube videos that you can watch. That's how I learned how to cook. Ask my mom some recipes. It's easier than you think it is. Like, I know it's daunting at first if you're someone who never cooks, but you'll be able to learn a lot. And I think I was able to up my cooking skills or cooking game during lockdown. I really took that time to learn and watch videos and practice. And I think now I can say that I can cook a decent meal.
Oh, that's for sure. I know that. I can vouch for that.
Thank you.
Even like Janine has motivated me in a lot of ways, especially at the cooking aspect. Because I was a guy who would, like fried chicken and rice, that would be like a staple in the Dias household. But then I realized, you need to have a balanced meal, and Janine has taught me a lot about this stuff. And I really want to thank you for that as well. Please don't cry. Janine, I don't know if you cry. Janine's a crier. But I just thank you for that, because what Janine said as well is also very true. If you have the money and you don't have the time, then, because I've seen people who have maids to come to their house and clean it. But if you have the time to clean it yourself, why don't you and save that extra cash or maybe donate it if you're able to? Not that you have to, or save it, for a rainy day or something like that.
Yeah.
If you're really pressed on time, then okay, maybe once in a while you can order out, or you can get a cleaner to come clean your house, or give your clothes to the laundry shop instead of doing it at home. But I know how important time is as well in this day and age. So if it does help you, just have to weigh it out and see how it fits into your life at the end of the day.
Well said, monsieur.
Thank you. See, I like this episode. I don't know if you mentioned it. You mentioned it a while ago. Yeah, we're just freeballing this episode basically.
I think that was in our first recording that we failed, so you have to say it again.
Yeah, so we're just freeballing this episode. We had no structure around this. We have nothing written down. We just decided Janine and I will just have a casual talk like what we always do.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good way to maybe wrap up this episode.
I think so too. Yeah, so after this, we have 2 more episodes for the year, and it's going to be 2021, y'all.
Gang. 2021. I wonder if it's gonna be any worse or any better than this year. But this is a good year for me. I must say that.
Yeah.
I must say that.
Yeah, it is.
I know
It's been
despite
really
what's going
kind
on
to
in the
me as
world
well.
to people as well. So, but I saw this quote and I'm gonna try to quote it loosely, but it's like 2020 wasn't a year where you, oh man, I forgot it. But it's something like you realize the importance of the things that you have instead of the things that you, or let go of the things you lost or something. I forgot. But I hope you know what I mean. Maybe Janine can shed some light into it if she ever seen that Pinterest quote. I don't know, or the Tumblr quote.
I don't think I've seen it, but I think I get what you mean, because this year really taught me to be grateful about the things that I have, more so because it is an eye-opening year for you to realize how blessed you are if you have a roof over your head during the lockdown period, wherein a lot of people didn't really have a home to go to, didn't really have anywhere to lock themselves in to protect themselves from, the coronavirus, where at that time we didn't have a lot of information about this virus and how to take care of ourselves and how to make sure that we're safe from it. And at that time, when everyone was very anxious about the unknown, it just made you thankful for everything that you had, because not a lot of people had that.
Very, very true. Very well said.
Yeah.
Yeah, you realize that importance of having the basic needs met, how important that is in your life.
Yeah, and having a good support system with your friends and family, and time. Being grateful about having time.
Those extra hours instead of commuting, just staying at home.
Yeah. And being alone
realize
with
a
your
lot
thoughts.
of things as well, yeah.
Right.
How to keep yourself entertained, right?
Exactly.
Whatever you do, guys, no judgment. Whether you want to binge on Netflix, where you want to pop open a book, whether you want to spend your time learning stuff on YouTube or any other sites, whatever you did to keep yourself entertained, that's good on you. You survived a pandemic, a global crisis.
Yeah, we have to applaud one another that we were able to go through it, and we're still going through it, and we're proud of you for keeping up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to the internet as well. Without the internet, I don't
Seriously,
think
and
a lot
Zoom.
of us would have survived. Yeah.
Shout out to Zoom.
Zoom.
Because even now we're using it to make do for the fact that we can't record next to each other.
Yeah. Shout out Zoom.
I think a lot of people, I don't know if has it been IPO'd? I don't know.
It has.
Really?
Yeah, and the stock went up like crazy during lockdown.
Yeah. We missed that train.
Yeah. We're always late to the party with these kinds of things.
Okay, on that note, I hope you guys enjoyed our random talk.
Yeah, a directionless episode, I guess, but I had fun. I really enjoy these kinds of things, like no limit to what you can talk about. You can swerve left, right, center, whatever you want to say, and you can have a decent conversation at the end of the day.
This is how we both realized that we could start a podcast, because every time Josh and I would talk, we would just talk randomly about anything, and we could go on and on and on about things. And when we both talked about, I was in a podcast at that time with Hello Ma'am Sir show, and when we were talking about podcasts, and he told me that he wanted to have his own podcast from like months and months back, and he was thinking about starting one, and I told him I've always wanted to have my own as well, but it just made us both realize that we can actually start our podcast, because we would just go on and on about things, and we always had opinions on stuff, and sometimes it was the same and sometimes it was different, and I think that's what makes it work and beautiful.
Yeah, that's so true. That's very true, actually. And we said this as well in previous episodes, that we started on a very minimal budget. We just decided one day, you know what, let's just come in guns a-blazing and jump right into this podcast project that we have going on.
Yeah, and in a couple, I think it was 2 weeks, we were able to turn around the logo, a jingle for the intro, and we bought some USB mics, and we're like, let's go, let's get it on.
Let's get this. Let's make leave our mark in the podcast world.
Here we are at episode 18. Can you believe that? Episode. That's cray.
It is. But like what you said, like, guys, please do continue to support the podcast as well. as you heard from this episode, Janine and I can talk about anything and everything. So please do send us whatever you want us to talk about, any topics, suggestions, feedback. And before we end the podcast, I just want to give a shout out to an event that is happening on 25th of December. 19 other comedians and myself, so that's a total of 20, will be performing at the World Trade Center for a Christmas comedy show. All talented comedians, all comedians who I really look up to, and people who's helped me with my craft as well. And the show will be on the 25th of December in the evening time. So if you're free and have nothing else to do, or if you want to bring your family to an event, you can bring them to the World Trade Center. You can book your tickets on Platinum List. I don't know if it's .com or .ae, but guys, you can find out the more details from there as well, or you can just check out my Instagram page because I'll be showing more details from there.
Yeah, and we'll add the link into the show notes as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
We will do that.
This is probably one of your biggest shows, no?
Biggest shows. We have to fill a stadium of 2,500 seats, guys. So as much as you can, if you have nothing else to do, if your girlfriend left you, or if your wife left you, or vice versa.
Why does it have to be someone leaving someone?
Because I was just thinking about that Last Christmas song. Last Christmas.
Okay, fine.
Gave you my heart.
Fine.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you, broski.
Thank you. Thank you so much, dude.
It's actually a 21 and above show. Just because Joshua is in it, they can't let kids in. It's not safe.
Yeah, guys, when I'm on a microphone, you better lock up your kids.
Don't make them listen to him.
No, close your ears while I'm on the microphone.
Yeah, but I'm actually excited for that as well.
Thank you.
Will be there to support my co-host. Hurrah!
Woo, woo.
Whoop, whoop. And the other 19 comedians.
Talented and beautiful and hilarious
Local
comedians.
Talent, people. We need to support
local talent, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, support small businesses and local talent. That's our handy advice for today.
Don't ask discounts from your friends who just opened up their businesses. Pay the normal fee, and that's your way of supporting them, guys. And post them on your social media so that other people will know more about them.
Yeah, spread the word, guys.
Yes.
Okay.
And speaking of spreading the word, spread the word about Have a Nice Day podcast on Instagram. Share this episode with your friends, your families. Let them know about us because that really helps. It's Have a Nice Day podcast on Instagram. If you want to send us any comments or any feedback, send us an email on haveanicedayshow@gmail.com. If you want to remain anonymous, send us a handy advice form in our Google Forms. The link will be in the show notes as well as our Instagram bio. Please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. You can rate us 5 stars if you deem that we deserve that. You can also leave a comment for us or a review for everyone else to see. Follow us on Spotify, on Google Podcasts, Pocket Casts, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Thank you so much, guys. I think that's it. So, on that note, have a nice day.
That was so laggy.
Mine too. I was like, I didn't know if you were already saying it or you...
I was saying it since the beginning of this episode.
Thank you so much, guys. We love you.
Thank you, guys. We like you as a friend.
Bye. Bye.